joy of the Lord is our strength. We bow down and worship Him now. How great, how awesome is He, and together we sing. Everyone sing. Holy is the Lord God Almighty. The earth is filled with His glory. Holy is the Lord God Almighty. The earth is filled with His glory. The earth is filled with His glory. We stand and lift up our hands, for the joy of the Lord is our strength. We bow down and worship Him now. How great, how awesome is He, and together we sing. Everyone sing. Holy is the Lord God Almighty. The earth is filled with His glory. Holy is the Lord God Almighty. The earth is filled with His glory. The earth is filled with His glory. It's rising up all around. It's the anthem of the Lord's renown. It's rising up all around. It's the anthem of the Lord's renown. And together we sing. Everyone sing. Holy is the Lord God Almighty. The earth is filled with His glory. Holy is the Lord God Almighty. The earth is filled with His glory. The earth is filled with His glory.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being with us today, whether right here where I can see you, hey, or online where I know you're listening in your pajamas, right? We have such a special treat for you. The speaker for today, I can't wait till he comes out. I've known him since he was 4. So a long time I've known him. So I'm so excited that he is going to be doing this today. He's known him that long too. So there's a connection card. You can fill out as much of the information as you want to. I will admit that I cheat and just kind of put my name. But there's a box in the back. We don't pass the plate around, but there is a box in the back for you to give, and we thank you for anything that you give, whether it's $1 or more. Anything is just so greatly appreciated and really blesses all that is going on here at this wonderful facility that we have. There's also a free gift for you if you're a first-time guest. It's a little book. Is there a picture? Yes, there. How Good is Good Enough by Annie Stanley. They said it's a really, really quick read. You can read it with 1 cup of coffee. I don't know. I kind of drink my coffee outside, so I must daydream. I think it took me 2 to drink it or to read it, but it's a great book. It's a really great book, and even if you have been a member and haven't read it, get it and read it. It'll really wow you. But once again, thank you so much for being with us today on this beautiful, beautiful Sunday.
slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I worship Your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come. Still my soul will sing Your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I worship Your holy name. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul. I worship Your holy name. Lord, I worship Your holy name. Lord, I worship Your holy
Lord, I just thank You again for just the freedom that we have, Lord, to worship. And just the opportunity that we have to let our hearts out for You, Lord. And I can't explain Your love, Lord, because it's just amazing. So right now, I just pray for this service, Lord, and just ask for You to just open our hearts right now, Lord. And I just pray for this service, Lord. Let us open up our minds and our ears to hear what You say, and let us be changed walking out of this building, Lord, this place. And I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I know you guys are probably just as shocked as me that I'm sitting up here giving this message. But I was worried. I'm not gonna lie, this week I'm like pacing back and forth, and it's not necessarily about the message, but you know, whenever Jeff's up here, he's doing his introduction, Michelle is here with him. And me, I don't have anyone, so I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? This is a bad look. So I'm hitting the streets. I'm going up to girls left and right, hey, can you just help me out? Like, come up here for like 5 minutes and like introduce me, maybe pray for me. And that wasn't working. I'm like, maybe they want some money. So I go up and I'm like just going up to them with money, like, hey, And that was way worse. I got slapped in the face. I don't know if we weren't on the same page with what was going on there, but thank you for being here. I really appreciate everyone that's here right now. And so I don't know if you know too much of my story, but, well, I'll start off. My name's Eric, if anyone doesn't know that already. But I quit my job about 1.5 years ago to start this thing called a podcast. And there's things that kind of go on behind the scenes that not a lot of people know, so I wanted to start off and share a story. So this was around last summer. There's this big-time rapper in Pittsburgh who I saw his Instagram page on social media, was listening to some of his music, and he was a guest that I was like, wow, this would be a really cool person to have on. So I didn't really know at the time, back in the summer, like how it was going to happen, but the idea was planted because he grew up in the hood and he's still in the hood, and I'm like a white suburb kid, so I'm just thinking, I don't know how this is going to work. And so another like 6-7 months go by, and I see a picture of him with one of my friends on social media, and this friend was actually someone I had on the podcast in one of my earlier episodes. So I go down to his sneaker shop. He owns a sneaker store. That's why I had him on. And I'm talking to him. I'm like, hey, do you know this guy? Like, I would love to connect with him, have him on the podcast. And he said, yeah, I do know him, but he doesn't really make decisions like that. You have to talk to his manager. So he gives me his manager's information. And I reach out to him the next day. I tell him kind of my idea and how I wanted to make this work. We could do it at the sneaker shop. This was like a neutral territory, and we could film it, post it on the sneaker shop's platform. They had like 17,000 followers. This guy had a concert coming up too, so I thought it would be a really good promotion idea. So I reached out. He gets back to me the next day like, hey, give me the details, like how long is this going to be, and what would you have in mind? So hit him up with all the details, what I was thinking, and he gets back to me basically saying like, come on, we're not interested. But he made it nice. He was like, we're going to pass on this for now. But no, actually, I'm sorry. He didn't get back to me after I sent him the details. So I had to reach out again, follow up probably a week later. And he got back to me, yeah, we're just going to pass. Let me know if you want to come to this concert, though, and do a small interview with him. So it wasn't really what I had in mind, because I usually do these interviews in a very chill setting, and they go for about an hour. It's like a long form conversation. I really like just digging deep and relaxing, just seeing where things take place. But I responded. I said, yeah, you know what? I'll do it. I don't know how good this is going to be. And in a lot of interviews I've seen of this guy, he was very standoffish to some of his interviewers. So I was thinking, this could be just a bad idea all around, but I'm going to take a shot. I kind of like the challenge. So I get back to him and say, yeah, just let me know the details. I'd love to come to the concert. He doesn't get back to me again. So I'm sitting there thinking like, all right, you know what, whatever. I mean, this wasn't probably going to go how I planned anyway. So another week goes by, and it's actually the Friday night before the concert. And I think I was on a walk or something. I'm just thinking to myself, man, do I really want to go to this thing? This could just be awful. This could be really bad. But I was like, you know what, why not? I'm not doing anything else. You wanted to interview him in the summer, like you had this idea, so just go for it. So I emailed him again, said, yo, just checking in. Please get back to me. I'd love to come to the concert. Doesn't respond. Next day of the concert, it's like 1 or 2 o'clock. And what do you know? I get the email. Yeah, come through. Here's my number. Text me. Let me know. And so I text him, going through the details. He basically says, like, listen, I'm not going to be able to get you backstage, but I'll be able to get you in the concert. So now I'm thinking, the heck, how are we even going to do this interview? So I reached back out to him and said, should I even bring my equipment? I'd love to come to the concert, but we even going to do this interview. He said, yeah, just bring it. I got you. Don't worry. So I'm going in this thing blind. I have no clue what to expect. It's probably not going to turn out good. But I get to the concert. I'm sitting there next to the sound booth. Some of these opening acts are coming on. And I'm thinking, all right, I guess I couldn't find the manager. I'm thinking, all right, we're just going to do this after the concert. But I was like, you know what, I'm just going to text him right now so we could maybe try to figure things out beforehand. So I texted him. I said, hey, I'm assuming this is happening after the concert, just let me know what's up. And he hits me back and says, talk to this person at the sound booth, I'll talk to this guy, and connections were getting made, and within 10 minutes, he did get me backstage. So I walk up to the back room, a lot of people were filing out, and it was just me. The guy that took me up there said, just wait 10 minutes, the rapper's gonna be up. Or not 10 minutes, it was probably only a minute or so. He's gonna be up. So I'm standing there, and he walks up, and it's just me and him standing face to face. I spot him up, and I say, yo, what's up, man? My name's Deke, and I don't know if your manager told you, but I'm here to interview you. And he goes, no, man, I didn't know that at all. I didn't know. So I'm like, geez, oh man, now what? So I just start talking to him about like, what's up, like what I've been up to and everything. And he goes, so what, I'll never forget this. I thought it was an incredible question. What's in it for me? And I'm like, man, well, I have this following. I'm just kind of starting off. I've interviewed this and this person. And he goes, man, I don't know if that's enough. So now I'm thinking, man, what's it gonna take for this dude to say yes? And I went back to him. I said, listen, man, I 100% understand where you're coming from, because he was saying I built my brand up to this level already, and people were trying to come to me and get my name with their stuff, associate, but there's not too much coming back in my way. I don't know why. I don't know why the heck this was the case, but I had 2 $100 bills in my wallet. And I said, listen, will $100 do it? He goes, yeah, dude, that's cool. Let's do it. So that's what it took. That's what it took. And so what happens, remember, going back to the beginning of the story, this is backstage. I don't know, am I going to get 5 minutes? He was standoffish in his other interviews. I was probably prepped for about 10 to 15 minutes of material. We start going. All of a sudden, the people that were downstairs start filing up. Some of them are circling around. It becomes a little show. The rapper calls his videographers up, like, yo, get these guys up here. Let's film this. And I'm sitting there. We're doing the interview. We probably go for about the 15 minutes that I had planned. And then I realized we're looking at each other. I'm like, yo, we should keep going. I said, wait, I got one more question. I really didn't, but sometimes you just gotta go with it. I asked him something, and we went for another 15 minutes. It turned into this half-hour interview backstage at his concert, all these people around. It was incredible, completely different than what I thought. But I guess for some reason I thought something good was gonna happen. It's probably my favorite interview, just because of that story of how it couldn't have happened if I wouldn't have emailed here or there or texted at this time. It was incredible. So I just wanted to share that. I think you could take many different lessons away from that story. And then even just my whole time doing this podcast, I have just a lot of learning lessons, a lot of trial and error. And I actually wanted to share 3 things that really stick out to me from this journey I've been on. So the first thing is appreciate the moments. Appreciate the moments in life. And this comes from a place where I'm telling you about this interview with this rapper, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking around. I'm like, man, like this is kind of what you envisioned in the summer, like to some degree, right? Not exactly like that, but to some degree. And I sat back a little bit, because this was after many, many interviews, and I've gotten better, so things have slowed down for me. But I sat back and I'm just looking around. I'm like, this isn't going to happen again. Like, this is never going to happen. If you think of that, think of the moments in life. There was another one I did with a person. She's on HGTV. She remodels homes. And we're sitting in one of her houses, this incredible schoolhouse. It's like critically acclaimed. And I'm sitting at her kitchen table. We're just sitting there having some tea, got our mic set up. And I'm looking around. I'm like, this is never going to happen again. Sit back and enjoy this. I tell the youth this every time a new year comes around. That old dynamic that we had that past year, it's gone. It's never happened again, because we bring in new people. It's not for better or worse. It's just more of take this in and appreciate it. We just had 2 new people come in this summer, so that the youth dynamic is different. Same with life. We go high school, college, job. High school and college isn't happening again. So why are we rushing so much? Why are we rushing so much? Matthew 6:3, it says, don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will worry about itself. So that was one thing I've taken away from this year. Just learn to appreciate the moments in life, the seasons we go through, because you can't duplicate the past. And number two is appreciate what you have. And like the first story, this is another situation that I'd never really tell people, but I guess I didn't state this at the beginning when I started talking, but I quit my job to start this podcast, and that kind of aged my parents a little bit, probably like a good 5-10 years. But there's been a lot of flexibility, I guess you could say, that's come with that. And we have this neighbor, and he has multiple sclerosis. He has a tough time getting around, and we've always been very friendly with this neighbor, and honestly all of our neighbors, and that's a testament to my parents. They always try to be close and have good relationships to the people around us. But like I said, I quit my job, so I had some time now, and he knew this, so he'd be asking me for help, take him to the grocery store, take him to doctor's appointments, going out to eat, get his paper, get his mail. And me and him have developed this incredible relationship because of this podcast, because of this time I took off. And what this has taught me is appreciate what you have. He does not have the ability to get around like we do. I look around, we all have able bodies. That should just be an incredible thing in and of itself, because not everyone has that. And just like the littlest things we do for each other can go a long way. And I'll never forget what he told me. This was probably like a month or two ago. He asked me to go out for a doctor's appointment, and he says, listen, I know it was 2 other people that he was related to. I know these people might be available, but I always like to ask you first. I love when we go out together because it's relaxing. I don't have to worry. Like we're just friends. We got this good relationship. Whenever I'm out with these other people, they're pounding me with questions and making me nervous and thinking about like negative things. So what I realized through this situation is just appreciate what you have and even give that. Appreciate the things we have around us. We're like in the top like 99% of the world, like in terms of like richness and the things we have. If you just have electricity, you have a house, like that's incredible. And it's weird because this relationship and this whole thing with my neighbor, there were times where I'd be frustrated. I was so selfish looking back because I thought I was giving up my time in an improper way. It just doesn't make sense. It's so dumb. I thought I had to be doing stuff with my brand, my podcast, like I was missing out on something. But what's Jesus talk about? Your purpose, your life mission is to help others. Like if you're missing that, forget about all that other stuff. So appreciate what you have, things we have, like who we are, our bodies, and it's incredible if you think about it. And number 3 is appreciate who you have around you. So this goes back to what I was saying in my last point, where I was thinking about the brand, I was thinking about the podcast, ways to get it big. And a lot of these, I like self-development books, like self-help. I don't know if you guys do, but Jeff was talking about that Habits book. That's right in line with all these things. And they always talk about dream big, think outside the box, go for something crazy. So I did. I had this idea. I don't know if I want to share it. Essentially, it's interviewing a really popular person across the coast, and there was a really it would have been shocking to you guys if I would have pulled this off, essentially. But I got to thinking. So I had this idea, and I was there for a little bit. I'm like, this is going to happen. But this came out of a place of negativity and bitterness, of thinking who I have around me is not amplifying me to the level that I need to be, so I got to go somewhere else. I got to get to another area like Los Angeles and get around some popular people and get elevated, But it came from a bad place, and I asked myself, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this crazy thing? And what it came down to was I wanted to be famous. I wanted my name to be known, and that's even why I wanted to interview this person, because it would have been a hard interview. It would have been almost impossible to get, and people would be like, "Oh, who's this kid? This guy's crazy." And it's not what I wanted. That's not a good why. It's really not. And I look back to when I started, that was a good why. I wanted to do this whole thing because of the relationships, the connections. So there's this one guy I really like listening to, and one of his rules for life, it really hit me in this moment. I was listening to him talk, and he said, don't go out and criticize the world. Don't go out trying to change the world when your room's not clean. So my room isn't clean figuratively and literally. So like literally you should see it, it's a mess. But figuratively, I don't know, I'm not as close to my family as I'd like to be. I'm really not. It's been something I've struggled with a lot recently. Jeff talks about habits. I just have a bad habit. I don't open up to them. I'm not as outgoing with them as I am with some of you guys, and it's for whatever reason. I talked about earlier, social dynamics, that there could be reasons why, but it's something I would like to change. And I think that's a good why. And they've been there for me this whole journey in my life and taking care of me so much. Jeff says this, that no one loves you more than your parents. No one loves you more than your parents. And I flipped that somehow, some way through this. I went from that dark place to being grateful and appreciative. And that's kind of why I'm telling you this. It was just, I think it's important. And I wanted to say this last thing too before I move on. Think of whenever people are on their deathbed, right? This was going through my mind too. What's one of the top 10 things you look at online whenever you do the Google search? I wish I'd spend more time with my family. I guarantee you, if somehow I pulled off that interview and was living the high life, I was all famous, you see me on TV, that guarantee it wouldn't be something about, man, I really am happy I got that interview. It probably would have been, man, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. So why not take that advice? So those were the 3 things I've learned. It all comes from a place of gratitude. Appreciate the moments, appreciate what you have, kind of who you are, and then appreciate who you have around you. So to end the story, that guy I interviewed, the rapper I was talking about, I don't know if you guys watch the news. His name is Jimmy Wapo, and he actually passed away about a month ago. He was just about to be signed to Taylor Gang, the brand that Wiz Khalifa represents, and his label. He was gonna hit it big. He was gonna hit it so big. Appreciate the moments, what you have, and who you have, because life is pretty precious. Let's stand up and pray. God, I thank you for this day. I thank you that we are all here fellowshipping. And it's just such a beautiful day. It's just awesome to be alive, and I pray that we can be grateful in life for the things we have. What we have around us is not holding us back. Help us to appreciate that and take advantage of opportunities that we may not see, that we may overlook. I pray that we all have a great rest of the day, and that is it. Amen.